Hi everybody, my name is Miss Kimberly. I'm a Youth Services Librarian at the Algonquin Public Library. Today for our Baby Time program, I am going to be talking to you about why it is so important to read to your baby. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the statistics that are involved with babies who are read to versus babies who aren't read to. And then I'm going to show you some examples of books that I really like that have photographs of real babies in them. Babies love looking at other babies. They find it very visually stimulating, and they like being able to recognize the facial features and so on. So we're going to look at some books that have pictures of real babies. I do not have my assistant Abigail today because this is actually my third attempt at recording this story time, and she spent the first two trying to eat the books. So we're going to let her not be the star of the show today, and we're just going to talk about some statistics and some of my favorite baby photograph board books. So why it's important to read to your baby. So a few years ago, there was a study that was published in the Journal of Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics. I'm reading this off of this screen, so excuse me. That found that by the time children reach kindergarten, children that were read to at least 5 books a day had heard over 1 million words more than children who were never read to at all. That's a pretty astonishing number of words. And it might seem like that's odd, but let's break down how they came up with this. So, according to the study, if a child is never read to, by the time they reach kindergarten, they will have heard about 4,600 words. I'm rounding here. If they're read to 1 to 2 times per week, they'll have heard about 63,000 words. So that's the difference between never reading a book to your child and reading a book to your child once or twice a week. That much of an increase in how many words they hear by the time they're 5. If they're read to 3 to 5 times per week, they'll have heard about 170,000 words. If they're read to daily, they'll have heard about 296,660 words. That's not an about, that's an exact number. And if they are read 5 books a day, by the time they are 5 years old, they have heard a whopping 1,483,300 words. That's a huge, huge difference between kids who were read to and kids who were not read to at all, or kids who were only read to occasionally. And those numbers might seem a little extreme, but if you think about if you never read to your baby, how often in life you might encounter the word kangaroo. Things like animals and places, penguins. Penguins live in Antarctica. Reading a book with your child is a great way to talk about penguins and that they live in Antarctica and there's snow there and it's cold and eggs. The penguins lay an egg and an egg hatches. And those are all words that your baby might never hear if you aren't using that opportunity to sit down with a book and talk about it. So that's where that study comes from, and I think it's incredibly staggering to hear those numbers and to think about what a difference you can make in your child's language development just by reading to them even 1 book a day. If you can't do 5, because I get it, we're busy, even 1 book a day makes a huge difference. I am a librarian and my children often do not get read 5 books per day, so I understand if you're not hitting that goal. So let's talk about books that are great for babies. Like I said, babies love to look at other babies. So I have these 2 books here. One is called Baby Loves. This is the one we're going to read, and this one is called Making Faces, which we'll look at briefly. This one Abby really likes it because it has pictures of babies, and she loves to look at babies. She also thinks it tastes great. So we'll read this one. It's called Baby Loves. When baby is hungry, baby loves a yummy banana. Now, if your baby is a little bit older, so my daughter's 7 months, and she still cannot find the banana on a page. But right around, I'd say probably when your baby is about 1, they should be able to start to recognize things and point to them on the page. But I really like these books because not only can you help your baby find the banana, but there's 5 other fruits on the page that you can talk about. And you can talk about their shape, and you can talk about what color they are. And it's a really good way to add lots of language into a book that doesn't have very much text. But you can really get in and talk about the pictures, and your baby loves to hear you talk. So When baby is thirsty, baby loves a full sippy cup. Can you find the baby's sippy cup? Here it is. Great job. And again, on this page, we have lots of things that you might see while you're using a sippy cup, like a bib and mommy's coffee mug. And I really like that they used all solid colors, so you can talk about what color everything is. This is a really well done book. When baby wants to cuddle, baby loves a furry puppy. Here's the puppy. And I have to shout out my neighbors have a puppy, a little puppy named Rooney. And I don't know that I would let my baby cuddle that puppy because it has very sharp teeth. But it is very cute and furry. So when they can find the puppy on this page, but then there's, again, 5 other animals that you can talk about and talk about what noise they make and what color they are. There's a lot of opportunity to just talk and talk and talk while you're reading this book. When baby wants to play, baby loves a bouncy ball. Do you see the orange ball? There it is. What other toys do you see? Engage that baby. When baby is chilly, baby loves a cozy sweater. Look at that red sweater. Can you find the red sweater? Good job. What other colors do you see? Can you find the green shorts? There they are. Good job. Where do shorts go? Do shorts go on your head? No, that's silly. Shorts go on your legs and your bottom, right? Babies love all these things, but most of all, babies love to feel loved. Can you give baby a hug? And then let your baby hug that book and give your baby a big hug because they love to feel loved. The end. This one is similar. We're not going to read it, but I'm just going to show you this is good for teaching emotions. Look at this angry baby. Can you find the angry baby? So more matching. And then you can talk about some of the other emotions and what might make a baby feel that way. This baby is surprised and she is so cute. So our next one is called American Babies. And I like this one because it shows all of the books I've chosen show all kinds of babies, which is really important to have your baby look at people who look similar to them and also who look different from them. So American Babies. Look at that baby. He is very American, sitting in that like wheat field there. All across this land, from sea to shining sea. Curious babies. He looks surprised, just like the baby in the other book we saw. And this baby looks happy. Explore their world. Look, this baby is reading a book just like you. And this little baby is eating an apple. Laughing and playing. Spreading joy. Look at that baby playing in the leaves. It must be fall. Do you see the orange leaves? Sharing hope. Surrounded by love. Oh, it looks like this baby's getting a hug from someone who loves her. And this baby, I think, is getting a kiss from his daddy. Isn't this a cute book? The end. So you can see I'm choosing books that have very, very minimal text. These are great for young babies, but they're also good for older babies because it gives them the opportunity to ask you questions, have them point things out on the page, and they're still hearing lots of words as you talk about what's going on. And then I have these 2 books. These are part of a series that have several books, about 8 books in the series. And I picked Baby's Favorite Things and Baby Dress Up. They are both super duper cute. We're going to look at favorite things because I like that this one has a lot of common objects in it. Baby's favorite things are his blanket. Do you see the baby sleeping in the blanket? Do you like your soft blanket? Aren't blankets so nice and cozy? Baby loves his bottle. Look at those babies drinking that bottle. Baby loves the train. Do you have a train? What does a train say? A train says, chugga chugga choo choo. Baby loves their pacifier. My baby will not take a pacifier. Baby loves their car. Beep beep, vroom vroom. Baby loves to read books just like you. Look at those babies reading books. Babies love to play ball. Look, it's the same baby who's on the front of the book. That's funny. That's a soccer ball. That's as big as that baby. Babies love to stack blocks. Look at those babies stacking blocks. Babies love to stack rings. Babies love their bears. Oh, look at those babies cuddling their teddy bears. The end. And then this one is very similar, but it's baby dressed up, and it's adorable. Here's baby dressed up as a lion and a chef. There's safari guide. How often is your kid going to hear the word safari if you don't read to them? This baby's a pumpkin. And I will say I have a 4-year-old as well, and he actually really enjoyed this one because he got to read it to his little sister because, I mean, he had some trouble with Safari Guide, but almost everything else is very easily identifiable for a preschooler. And so he loved getting to read this book by himself to his sister. Bear, princess. Here's our baby from the other book that had the train. He's a mechanic in this book. A bunny. So those are some examples of board books I really like that show babies, photographs of real babies, and I think that your baby would also like them. And as I said, we are doing curbside pickup for Algonquin card holders only, so feel free to place some requests if you want them. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please read and play and sing and bounce and tickle and blow raspberries on and have fun with your babies. Babies are fun. Your baby thinks you're awesome no matter what. And send your kid to kindergarten with 1,000,000 words. Everybody stay safe, wash your hands, and be well.